I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Welcome to the new Love Addiction, where we're not talking about addiction, we're talking about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. And on this video, let's explore strategies and behaviors that show up when a person is emotionally guarded, emotionally unavailable. And in fact, this particular video is one in a series. I say series loosely, it's not like some official series where you have to watch it in an order, but I'm making multiple videos breaking down very specific behaviors so that you could pay attention and start to observe people in your life. So let's say you have a family member, you have a loved one, you have your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, wife, whoever it is, and you're trying to notice the levels and degrees of emotional awareness and how we create connection through being open and available and vulnerable. And when there is a connection, when there is a successful sense of exchange, you're going to feel calm and comforted in your body. It's going to feel right. You're going to feel seen, known, heard, and understood, and there's going to be a sense of ease. So sometimes, as you know, some people are less emotionally available and in fact might be guarded, might be fearful about opening up. So what are some of the strategies or things that they use? Usually not conscious, it's very subtle. These behaviors folded into their personality structure. And one way that people can help maintain disconnect from others is that they talk and keep talking about details and talking and more talking, and there's not a pause. There's not a break in the key. Imagine there's not a break in if you're like playing ball. It's like they're not passing you the ball until it's your turn. And so you find you're sort of, it's that feeling of like waiting at a bus stop. You're waiting, and you're trying to be cordial. You're trying to be, socially reasonable about it. You're trying to be respectful. But in fact, you notice there's never really a pause. So this is about talking, not talking. They're talking, but they're not really talking about, ways that are drawing you in. And oftentimes, if you're on the receiving end, it's going to feel like you're being talked at. Like you're a piece of furniture and they're just talking to the furniture. And you're going to have moments where you tell yourself, why am I even here? I don't understand. Like, why are we talking about? And for you, your experience, most probably, or for many people, the experience is you find yourself going, oh, and the other person cannot even pick up on the fact that you are so disengaged. It's the reason why this is angering when it happens is because if your nature is to be more engaged, you are being conditioned and you are being invited to collude in non-engagement, and that pretty much the only option available for you is to implode, to give up, to feel a sense of, well, I can't really get a word in edgewise anyway, they're not really listening, and even anything I introduce, they don't really pick up on that, whatever I'm presenting, be it in, something about me emotionally, something, a different, something that's going on in my life, something that I find of value, and that the other person, if they're not, it's sort of like a radar system. They don't have a sophisticated enough radar to pick up the places where there is emotional weight or that there is emotional value. And so even if you do attempt to get your foot in the door and to even just, sometimes we have to bulldoze. We just bulldoze right in and interrupt and say, oh, I hear what you're saying. And also that reminds me of this other thing in my life. And let's say that other thing in your life has, reveals something about you emotionally, about your feelings or about what's going on for you. And that for someone who's so lost in the repetition of their talking, I call it talking, not talking. Sometimes I also call it talking about nothing. If this is happening, and they do not have this emotional radar that's going to pick up on where do we actually focus our attention and to, find the conversation seeds. Let's call them conversation seeds. That if you share something about yourself that's personal or vulnerable or emotional, and it's like you're dropping a seed and you're saying, hey, if you notice this seed, you can, by noticing it, you're watering it. And then I will also make another comment about my experience about that emotional experience, and we're watering this emotional seed together. And in the middle of the conversation, something's growing. Our relationship is growing. Our relating is growing. There's a sense of shared understanding. Well, if you're with someone who, errs on the side of being emotionally unavailable, emotionally guarded, and is not offering very much engagement, they might appear to be engaged by talking, which is going to be very, very confusing, because if they're talking, you're thinking to yourself, well, this is nice. I want the person to connect with me, and it appears they're making some effort. But this is why that I call it talking, not talking, because we could also use the phrase effort, not effort. You sort of are making effort, but in fact, you're pretty much just talking to yourself. You're not really talking to me, and I'm having almost, zero participation in this conversation, because that is the way that it's set up to collude and to invite. And here's the other thing, which I've said this before in other videos, and you might already know. The person who is least engaged in emotional interaction is the person who has more control. So if I want more engagement, I cannot force that to happen. The other person needs to be on board to participate, that we will together raise the level of emotional engagement. We will raise the vibration if we're speaking in energetic terms. That if the other person is not joining me or going, no matter how I could have balloons and horns and a marching band and say, connect with me, let's have a wonderful conversation. Let's talk about, more emotionally vulnerable, open things about who we are with each other. If the other person does not know how to do that, does not want to do that, it is not going to happen. You cannot make it happen. So over time, you find yourself, and you perhaps know this kind of experience where you're just sitting there. Or if perhaps this is how people relate on the phone, this is the experience when people are on the phone and you just pull the receiver away from your ear and you go, and then you look out the window and you don't even have to pay attention. So lastly, in making this point, it would be very easy to say, well, that's because the person you're talking to is terribly self-absorbed, and the focus gets put on how incredibly absorbed they are. And yes, I'm not denying that, but I don't want to focus on just they, like they're to blame or it's their fault because now look at how self-absorbed you are. My interest is looking at the dynamic between the two of you and how it's a cycle and it impacts you. And the invitation then, it's saying that if you want to be in relationship with this person, you have to agree to collude with this minimal level of emotional exchange. And so it puts us in this profoundly painful, confusing gridlock because for the most part, I'm almost certain it is not pleasant for you to just sit there in your chair, to sit there on the couch, holding your phone going, I'm sure that you don't want that. But you also cannot completely walk away in the sense of I'm thinking in terms of a family member. If it's a non-abusive family member and yet you're still part of the family, this creates this incredible riddle. It's this unsolvable riddle. It's like, how do I stay connected to this person? How do I build emotional openness and closeness when it is so obvious and apparent that there are a number of strategies or behaviors that are designed in the family relating to maintain disconnect? Confusing, so terribly confusing. Now, if it's a partner, if it's someone you're in a relationship with, and that's a little different. That, of course, you could at some point say, look, this is not working for me. I mean, I can't bang my head up against the wall any longer. If you don't want to participate, you don't want to participate. And I do need to then consider ways of how do I exit this relationship, or this relationship is not working, because I can't sit on this couch for the next 25 years and perpetuate relating, non-relating. That's what, this is relating, non-relating. We're really not relating, but we're sort of going through the motions pretending that we're relating. And in the process, the person is talking. Lastly, I have to just say, there's an irony in this video, or the joke is not lost on me, in that if you've watched any of my videos, you are aware, or I'm assuming you're aware, that I seem to have a tendency to talk a lot or talk a bit much, and if there's an example, I will repeat the example 3 times. I try to do that consciously to help drop into, to clarify a point, but it is a bit, the joke is not lost on me that I'm making a video about people talking, and I present myself on videos as someone who talks a lot. So, okay, well, that's just who I am. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. There are more videos coming your way when you subscribe. Also, you can join a Facebook group, The New Love Addiction, that explores these ideas and other ideas. And then lastly, if you want to learn more about me, I also work with clients via the phone, remotely, have phone consultations, phone sessions, phone coaching. If that interests you, all the information is on my website, as well as some other blog posts that you could look into. And you can find that at alanrobarge.com. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.